Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls TV. I'm the host, Mike B, and well, that's all you need to know. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're going to do a quick preview of the UK Games Expo. UK Games Expo 2019 is happening in a few short weeks. There's about 3-4 weeks to go now. Lot going on. If you've not been before, it's a bustling event full of board games, board gamers, and stuff to see and plenty to buy. So yes, it's your first time going. Brilliant. Congratulations. You're in for a treat. It's manic. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. It's got bigger and bigger every year. Last year was huge, and the year before that was mostly huge, and this year is probably going to be huger than all that. So we've covered all the stats, that's all covered. So what are we going to talk about? Well, I've got a list on the back of the fact packet. We'll have a quick look. Yes, I have a thing. Yes, a list. Ignore that. Coffee time. Cheers. So, yes, we're going to be covering some of the new games and some stuff you can look and do while you're there, and the usual stuff that these preview videos consist of, in our own inevitable style. Yes, that's what we're doing. So without further ado, some squiggly graphics, and we'll move on to the games we are looking forward to at demoing and seeing at the UK Games Expo 2019. Oh yeah. So, stuff we're looking forward to looking at and playing, possibly even buying at the UK Games Expo 2019. Well, first up is Clank Legacy is going to be there, apparently. Now, this brings me to another point, which we'll have in a minute. But yeah, Clank Legacy is there. Renegade is showing that it's there. Now, if you look on the UK Games Expo website, and I believe there's also a terribly helpful app there you can look at, which will list you all the new games being released at the show. There was pages and pages of them. And it also breaks it down into what you can demo, what you can play, what you can buy. Now, apparently, according to the app, you can buy Clank Legacy there. I don't believe that's going to happen. I think that's a cock-up. The same for Cloud Spy was also listed as a buyable game there. Now, the Cloud Spy, I looked into it, and it is something that you can pay to pre-order the Kickstarter version. So, yeah, the app's all right. We're kind of digressing off of what I was going to talk about. But yes, yeah, the app, it's a great idea. Doesn't really function all that well at the moment. It's a bit clanky. And there is no existing list really around with all the stuff on it. Previously, I think last year, Tom Heath did it from Slicker Drips. He did quite a comprehensive UK Games Expo list on Board Game Geek. He hasn't got the time. None of us have really to do this sort of stuff. So no comprehensive list exists other than what's on the app, and the app is a bit clanky. But yes, bear in mind, so take it with a pinch of salt when it says you can buy stuff, because not necessarily. So anyway, back to what we were originally saying. Clank Legacy is there. Interesting. We like a bit of Clank. The idea of a legacy version of Clank is interesting. I believe you're building a team of fortune hunters delving into the depths and stuff. I would imagine some of the legacy elements will be adding like Clank to your cards. I don't know any more than that, but that's definitely one I'm very interested in looking at, because love the base game of Clank, not played the sci-fi one, but Clank as it stands in a couple of expansions. I think, it's a fun game. It's no more, no less than that. So there's that. And Cloud Spy we mentioned as well is going to be there, which was very hot off Kickstarter. So if nothing else, we'd love to look at it because it's a gorgeous looking game. So one that you will be able to buy at the show, get in early on this one, and also be able to demo and see is Portal Games, Imperial Settlers Roll and Write. The Roll and Write games are becoming very popular at the moment. This is Roll and Write. It's too many R's and W's in there. It's not good for me. But yes, so the concept behind these games is you're rolling dice and you have a sheet of paper you're writing on. So it's all kind of quick, fast games with just kind of portable and just something different. It's kind of the new hotness. But yeah, so Imperial Settlers, great game over here somewhere. Yeah, we love a bit of Imperial Settlers. Fantastic game, really good. Bunch of expansions ready for that, but this is a separate roll and write version of that. Now, I'm going to be seeing Ignacy on Saturday morning. He's going to give me a terribly comprehensive run through and look at it and demo. hopefully, well, you better buy it there. So at some capacity, either I'll steal it or he may even gracefully pass one my way. We'll get a copy of this to look at and have a proper in-depth look at. But yeah, Imperial Settlers Rollermite, very excited. That's definitely on my excited list. So we'll be looking at that, and have no doubt that the LA Crimes expansion for Detective will be there, and I'm sure Robinson Crusoe Mystery Tales will also be there, along with, I believe there's an Imperial Settlers small box and a 51st State stuff coming out. Lots of stuff from there. I will also press him on where the bloody hell is the Pret-a-Porter reprint that he's been promising for ages, dangling a carrot at me. Damn him! But we will find out. I've forgotten a box I meant to bring in here to show you. Never mind, we will move on. Snag It from Yay Games, which there's the box I haven't got. It's a small card game. That's going to be released in a small sort of kind of a preview version of it. It is going to Kickstarter later in the year, but there is a small print run of it that I believe some copies will be available at the show. So Snag It, it's like a real card-based game, almost a bit of double, bit of bluffing. So it's kind of quite simple, bit of code names. It's all sorts of mishmash. You're playing cards and you're then trying to find the animals that relate to it. We'll do a review to it later on. But yeah, it's a very fast, bluffing, push your luck sort of style game. Yay Games we love a bit of Yay Games. They will have Omnos and Omnos Hieroglyphs there as well, which if you've not played either of those, Omnos is fantastic. Really great filler dice game chucker. Brilliant. You should have it in your collection. But yes, Snag It will be there. I'm sure Andrew from Yay will also have some other preview games that we can look at. So that's all lovely. So what else? Subterra 2. So Subterra, I am pointing up here at this box. Subterra came out a couple of years ago at the last Expo. I think, yes, last Games Expo. They had it. So there's been murmurings of Subterra 2. Subterra, if you didn't know, was a movement game. It's a co-op game of, if you've seen the movie Descent, a bunch of cavers that have gone into a cave system. And you're trying to find your way out by essentially just exploring this cave system with your characters. You're working together to try and get out. Obviously, down in this cave system, there's some hideously horrible, nasty monsters that will yum you up. And it's, it has a tight, claustrophobic, sort of horror-based thing. It was quite cool. I like the art, the design of it. It was different. It was a funky, kind of cool game. I love the movie Descent, and this kind of really tied into that. Sort of it felt unique. I liked the idea. I loved the feeling behind it, and it was a cracking game. So I've lost my coffee. Subterra 2 has been murmured as being at the show. What this will consist of, we don't know. I'm hoping they've taken a leaf out of the Alien series of movies. So Subterra is the alien of the Subterra universe of board games. Maybe Subterra 2 is the aliens of the Subterra universe. Maybe we're going back into the caves to kick some monstrous ass and shooting and mayhem and stuff. Who knows? We don't know. But we'll find out. We will go to ITB Stand. They've also got a couple of other games there whose names escape me at the moment. But there will be some more stuff they're displaying down there, and I'll flash it on the screen or something, and we'll look professional at that juncture. So yes, there's that. Lovely. What else we got going? Verdun Gardens. This one here. So this is this game. City of Games. Now Frank did City of... Where has it gone? Lost it. City of Kings. Came out. Really loved that. Great game. Big fat huge monstrous box, went on Kickstarter. A bunch of expansions came out with it. I raved about it when it first came out. It kind of had that World of Warcraft feel. You were leveling characters, running around on the map and covering stuff and that. It looks beautiful. It does a figure beauty. So Verdun Gardens is linked into the same universe, but it's like a tile laying placement game. A bit something more like King Domino, but a lot more depth to it. It looks cutesy and cuddly, and there was a review of this forthcoming. But in actual fact, it's a bit of a beast. In a real brain sort of, oh God, I'm having to think all of a sudden. So that will be available at the show to buy, along with obviously expansions for the City of Kings, I have no doubt, and City of Kings, I imagine. Along with, hopefully, a look at some of the other stuff that Frank's been working on, which is in the same universe as the King's universe. Kind of like it, kind of dig it. I like what he's doing with this sort of shared universe across games. So it's this broad sort of tapestry of stuff and lore and interesting. It's very, I like all that kind of stuff. Bit world building. So anyway, that will be there to look at. So that's worth a peek, isn't it, everyone? Jolly good. Daring Dustbunnies. Daring Dustbunnies. There we go. Andrew Hopwood. Old Hoppy. Daring Dustbunnies is a game he had, for the last couple of years he's been showing it. This is going to Kickstarter very soon. I will be getting a review up finally. Daring Dustbunnies is like a push your luck game of you playing these delightful fluff balls, trying to avoid getting sucked up a vacuum cleaner, whilst stitching everyone else up in the process. It's really clever little game, great design, really good fun. Hotwood Stands, go and find it. There's lots of good stuff on Hotwood Stand. All kind of neat little trinkets of games, little clever little designs and funky stuff going on. Always worth a look. So Daring Dustbunnies. Yes, that's one of our picks for the show coming up. I need more coffee. What else have we got going on? Surprise Stair Games will be there. Now, Tony will be there with, I believe, probably a few demo versions of games. I know there's the card-based game of Snowdonia, like a 2-player game they're working on, which has a name that I've forgotten. There's the Nice Cup of Tea, or Alabari. I can't remember. It's got a Nice Cup of Tea is a good name for it, but there's it's kind of the spiritual successor to Snowdonia. Will also be there, I'm sure. There's Guilds expansions he was working on. Hopefully that's going to be there. I don't know what else he's going to have available. I'm sure some promos will probably, for some capacity, for something, although the Snowdonia Master Set is due to hit in probably a couple of months, which has got every promo in the world in it. So maybe he won't be releasing too much, but we'll have a look, we'll have a peek and see. Uncle Tony, always worth a stop by and a swear. So we'll see what he has to say for himself. Gale Force 9 will be there. So Gale Force 9 is interesting me because they have their Aliens Another Day at the Core game. Now, I don't think that's actually going to be out at this point, but at least we should be able to get a solid look at it. Love the Aliens. Those series of movies is fantastic. The Aliens game from Leading Edge, which was back in the 90s, was a beloved game of mine. So I'm hoping that they capture some of that spirit of that. It looks kind of cool. Gale Force 9 are pretty solid when it comes to film and movie and TV licenses. They've kind of not really done me wrong yet. So I'd be interested to see what the game consists of, how it plays, what it's like. I know it's a co-op. But yeah, Aliens. Very exciting. And it's good to see a good publisher get their hands on the license to finally, hopefully, give us something good. Though Legendary was very good. Breaking news, people. Even more breaking news. Obviously, after finishing the video, by the way, this baby's sick, by the way. Just show you where that. So yes, breaking news. Literally got back to the computer. I was going to start editing the video, and more stuff's coming out. So number one, White Wizard Games. Those peeps behind Star Realms and the Epic card game, stuff like that. Their game Sorcerer will be exclusively available, or it will be first hit at the UK Games Expo. It was kickstarted around about 4 years ago. It's a strategy card game with dice, with push your luck, with all sorts of other stuff going on there. Battling mages and wizards, and necromancers and stuff. And it can be played up for 2 to 4 players. And it sounds very fascinating. Eric Martin, I caught a video of him the other day discussing it, and they were very excited at Board Game Geek about it. So that sounds like one to look at. So obviously they'll be selling at the show, they'll be doing demos. There's also the opportunity, if you demo the Epic card game early on, you will get a free copy of that. And they are giving away app codes for Star Realms. So White Wizard Games, well worth a look. Have a look at them. But there's more. More news, more breaking news, splurging just all over the windows and doors and everything. There's news everywhere. It's splattered everywhere. Awaken Realms, those lovely folks behind some rather large Kickstarter successes. They recently did Tainted Grail, which looked stunning. Really good stuff. Nemesis, also pretty big. That's getting a lot of buzz. And Lords of Hellas. So yeah, these guys are doing Etherfields, I'm going to call it. It's their latest thing. It's from the designer Neuroshima Hex, which is Michael Orcatz. I can never get it right. Michael Orax. We'll say it's that. Neuroshima Hex, and this is War of Mine board game he designed. He's quite a hot Polish designer. I dig his stuff. So this is a dream crawler game. We don't know a massive amount, but the miniatures I've seen of it look fantastic. I'll put some images up around here, and it all seems to be almost Neil Gaiman-ish in its sort of dream logic, and you're in the dream sort of state, and a lot of the game will play out weird, almost legacy elements to it, the sounds of it. It sounds fascinating. It's a 1 to 4 player game. It's a co-op. I don't really know a great deal more than that. However, I have blagged a preview showing of it, so I will be taking a look at it at the show, and I will obviously be feeding back after the show all about it, but that does sound fascinating, and I need to go and look at their other stuff anyway, because I've missed the boat on Nemesis and Hellas, and Tainted Grail looks amazing. So I'll be taking a look at all of what they've got. They're going to be at the show. Really good to see these big publishers, these guys like this, real big names in the industry now, at the event. So we will be there having a look. That sounds fascinating, doesn't it? Very exciting. Anyway, there you go. Moving on swiftly. Wotan Games will be there, of course, with the Brexit card game. So you need to go and track that down, because, you know, there's not nearly enough Brexit in everyone's lives, surely. So aside from all the wonderful games, and there is lots more, the trouble is kind of picking for the chef. Oh, before I forget, Century Spice. Whoa! So Century, the final part of the Century trilogy is coming out. Should be at the show. So that's one I like. I really like the Century games, and I like the idea of they all combine in together into one. So there's the final part of that. Pretty certain it's going to be out at the show. That's probably one that's at the top of my list of, like, I need to get hold of. Along with, actually, we're probably also going to have Every Epic will be there with a Big Trouble in Little China, and hopefully the Lopan expansion. Looking for that. So there's all of that. Anyway, aside from all that, what else is going on at the show? Well, obviously there's a ton of things to go and see. The Bring and Buy, always worth a visit. We'll see how it does this year. Last couple of years, people have been a little bit keen to up the price and stuff. It's been a bit of a shambles, in my opinion. I've gone in there, never found quite those bargains I did in the early days. We'll have a look anyway. There's a few things I'm on the lookout for. I really want the World of Warcraft board game. Anyone got a World of Warcraft board game? Kind of fancy it. Don't want to pay £500 for it though. I might as well just buy Kingdom Death Monster. But yes, World of Warcraft is kind of my grail list of looking. I guess I need that in my life. So we'll have a look for that. That's what I'm on a mission for. What else is, we will see. Bring and Buy is always kind of a mixed bag. There may be some stuff, aside from the pile of works games, everyone's shifting it more than they were bought in the works. We'll ignore that. There's always a few little bargains and maybe trinkets to be found in there. So we will be diving into the Bring and Buy at some point and having a good old rummage, which is always nice. Obviously, there's a bunch of live shows going on there. Talking of live shows, we have a live show there. The third Who Dares Rolls live show will be there on the Friday at 5 o'clock in the Toot Suites. So we're there. We'll be bringing another live show. Now, not 100% sealed off and signed and sealed on this, but it looks like it's going to be a game of board game blockbusters. The classic game of, can I have a PPs, Mike? We were doing a bit of that. There'd be a trailer possibly even. How exciting. So yes, third show, the trilogy will be complete finally of the Who Dares Rolls shows being, you should come along, see it. There'll be room, don't worry. Other than that, obviously a bunch of other exhibitors there. Call Me or Not will be there in capacity, some capacity, a big old stand they had last year. I'm going to try and hotfoot over there and see if they get any promos. That'd be quite interesting. There was a bunch of other publishers there. You're going to have to go and have a look on this website and the app. Go and have a look. There's a ton of games. There's a ton of stuff going on. Knowing to pick through it all is where to begin. Other than that, if you're going to see some live shows, I hope Nightmare Live is there again this year, which was fantastic. And The Dark Room, a great live experience. If you get a chance, go and book a ticket, go and see that, because it's just hilarious. So that's all that going on, and our live show and all that kind of stuff. Just a scant few weeks to go into the Expo. As I said, if you've not been before, it's a worthwhile time to go. If you're a board game fan in any capacity, then the Expo is kind of the big event to be at in the UK. It is the big gaming thing. Hotels have got very expensive there, is the only annoyance. Sort it out, someone. But apart from that, UK Games Expo 2019, we're excited for it. We're going to be there. Come and see us at the live show. Yes, and continue gaming in the absence of that. Weeks to go, just barely weeks. How thrilling. Now, be off with you. I have stuff to be doing. Probably reviews and things. Signing off.